Once again, you're invited to play along with television's brightest musical game, Chopsticks. And here's your host, the master of our pint-sized piano panel, composer, arranger, conductor, John Scott Cutter.
Thank you and welcome to Chopsticks. Before we begin, here we have seated in front of us at their own individual Baldwins 5 youngsters who constantly amaze me, and I think will amaze you with their pianistics and personalities. You'll see them in action in a moment, but right now, let's meet our 5 pedal pushers in person. First, we have Jimmy Fields, and Jimmy is 9 years old. Janie Getz. Janie is 13. And here we have Mark Evans. Mark is 10. Here we have Charmin Billy Preston. Billy, you got a beat for us?
Yeah.
How about that last chord again? Billy is 12 years old.
That's right.
All 12 of them. And here our anchorman, Mark Seaman. Mark is 11.
Hi, Uncle John.
Hi, Mark. Nice to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Now that you've met our group and heard them play some of their different styles, I'm sure you will agree they're a very rare group. Now, before we begin round 1, here's Johnny Jacobs with a word about the rules of our show.
You viewers are invited to challenge our keyboard kids by sending in questions on any phase of music. If your question is used, you'll win the handsome Britannica World Language Dictionary. Now, if your question stumps our Chopstickers, you'll be awarded the deluxe 24-volume set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, our offstage judges, by the way, will be scoring the youngsters, and there'll be a special award for the one who performs best.
Thank you, Johnny. Now let's begin. If you keyboard kids are ready to test your musical skills, we'll start today's session with a tuneful question sent in by Mrs. Howard Grindley of San Francisco. Mrs. Grindley calls her question, Think a Tune. I'll mention the subject. You think of a tune that fits that subject. Now here's number 1. Think a tune with a girl's name in it. Billy Preston.
Mary had a little lamb.
Can you sing it?
Sure.
Let me hear you sing it.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, the fleece was white as snow.
That's fine. Good. Wonderful. Now we think a tune that suggests fire. Let's see, Jimmy Fields. What is that?
The Ritual Fire Dance by Manuel the Fire.
That's not all of it, is it? I think there's quite a bit more, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't got time. We haven't got time this afternoon.
8 more pages.
What? 8 more?
more.
Oh, wonderful. But here's do you know them all?
Yeah.
Well, let's not do it now. Here we go. We have Think a Tune that's associated with Frank Sinatra? Mark Seaman.
That's All the Way.
That's right. Mark, could you sing that, not like Frank Sinatra, but like, say, Louis Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yes, how about that?
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you. Oh,
Wonderful, Mark. That's just great. Now, here's the last part. You've done very well. Here's Think a Tune that was written before you were born. All of you. Let's see. Janie Getz. Wonderful. What was that, Janie?
That's a Bach prelude from the Well-Tempered Clavichord.
That's wonderful. I wish we had time to hear all of that, too, but we haven't today. You did very well with that question, kids, and as a reward, you can take 1 minute off while we hear this message. Can I borrow your piano, sir?
Oh, certainly.
Fine. Here we go. Now, Mrs. Janet Beardsley of Los Angeles has written in asking me to help pose a piano puzzle for you. I'll take over the keyboard myself and play a few songs. You'll have to identify each song I play, name the composer, and play another song by the same composer. 5 parts to this get all parts right, or Mrs. Beardsley wins a set of the Britannica. Here's the first one. Name the composer and play another song that he wrote. Hands, I see. Mark Seaman.
Well, was that by Richard Rodgers or Rodgers and Hammerstein?
It's by Richard Rodgers.
Oh, What a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma.
That's right. Now.
I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair from South Pacific.
That's fine. Now here we go on the second part of this question. Nobody know that? Well, we'll have to go on to the next. Mark Seaman?
Was that by Harold Arlen?
That's right.
Let's see.
What was the thing?
That's Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and
That's
Judy Garland sang that.
That's a wonderful tune. Now, here's the last one. Looks like the marks are up on their marks. Here we go. Mark Evans.
That's Always by Irving Berlin.
That's fine.
There's no business like show business.
Mrs. Lee Harvey of Chicago sent in a stumper, and she calls it Keep Playing. I'll call on one of you to start playing a tune that I mentioned. When I call out another name, that person has to continue playing the tune. Playing the tune without skipping a beat. And we'll go right around the panel. Maybe even calling on the same person right over and over again, just to see how long we can keep playing. All right, Janie Getz, you start, and let's do the children's marching song. Janie? Jimmy Field. Mark Evans. Jimmy Field. Janie Getz. Billy Preston. Mark Seaman. everybody. It's a great pleasure now to introduce this week's Chopstick guest star. She's a young lady who's just gone right up to the top, and she started in the jazz idiom of Stan Kenton's progressive band. And she's earned herself a permanent niche in the modern Music Hall of Fame. The lovely Capitol recording star, Miss June Christy. Junie? Junie, it's just wonderful to have you with us. But you know, when you come within 5 feet of these pianos, you take on a great obligation.
I'm in trouble, huh?
You're in trouble and deep.
How's that, John?
Well, when you come within 5 feet of the piano, that means that you can't get away from those 5 feet without singing. Do you mind?
Is that all the trouble?
That's all the trouble.
I don't mind at all. I'm game if the kids are game. Will you
I
play
know
for
they
me? Sure. Let's try it.
They are all yours. Chopstickers, Miss June Christy. Now do your best, will you?
Hi, Ma.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. What do you know in the key of, let's say,
E flat.
How'd you know?
Willow Weep for me.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Will you play it for me?
Of course.
Now, this is pretty chords, Ma.
Thank you very much.
Prettier than this one.
Yeah.
Willow, weep for me. Willow, weep for me. Bend your branches green along the stream that runs to sea. Listen to my plea. Listen, Willow, and weep for me.
Thank you very much.
How you doing? Fine. Got anything on your mind that you'd like to play?
Sure. Cross Valley from the Alamo.
Well, let's make it. Yeah. Across the alley from the Alamo, there's a Pinto, Pony, and a Navajo. Sang a sort of Indian hi-ho to the people passing by. The Pinto spent his time at swish and slide. The Navajo watched the lazy sky. Very rarely did they ever rest their eyes on the people passing by.
How are you?
Oh, I feel fine today. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks.
Feel like playing something?
How about something cool?
It sounded like a cue, and it really wasn't, but that's a good idea. Something cool. I'd like to order something cool. This song is a long one. You'll have to learn. How are you?
Hey, I'm just fine. How are you?
It's been fun so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of
I
fun.
like that children's song thing. I wanted to get in on that. What about the only thing I can play is Chopsticks, but I know that's not true of you. You want to try Midnight Sun?
All right.
All right.
Pretty song.
Your lips were like a red and ruby chalice, warmer than the summer night. The clouds were like an alabaster palace, rising to a snowy height. Each star's own aurora borealis. Suddenly you held me tight, and I could see the midnight sun. You in the mood to play something?
Oh, certainly.
Well, Well, let's see, what shall it be? We should have a kind of a rousing ending here, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Something kind of raucous?
Yeah.
How about How High the Moon?
Oh,
Okay. Okay. How High the Moon. Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too, until it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's heaven where you are. Somewhere there's music, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will, how still my heart, how high the moon.
Time now for a fun feature that we call Lyrics on the Spot. I'll name a topic, and you have to join together to make a 4-line jingle on that topic. All right, Billy, you start the music with a vamp, and Mark Siemens, you make up the first line. The subject this week was sent in by Ronald Garvey of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's this one, Homework. Mark, you start this week's Lyrics on the Spot.
Okay.
Homework.
Homework? I think that homework is really swell.
I think that homework is really swell. Mark Evans.
But I am eager to do it well.
I think that homework is really swell because I am eager to do it well. Janie?
Bring it home each day at 3. And leave it there while I watch TV.
I hope your teacher wasn't listening to that. Now, here's a special feature on Chopsticks. You viewers will remember that last week our judges scored Billy Preston the highest. So this week he's awarded a solo performance. Billy asked if he could play the organ instead of the piano, and I know you're going to be glad. So here he is with a selection prepared especially for this week, Route 66, Billy Preston. Just too much, Billy. Next time we'll let you play the organ again, too, and you read when you get up on those questions again. Now, here's a final chance to impress the judges, kids. I'm going to call out the names of several cities all over the world. You must play a tune suggested by the name of that city, and you'll have to think fast because you'll just have a second or two to think after I name the city. Our thanks to Mrs. Edward Ludwig of New York City for this question. And here's the first city. She calls for New York. Janie? Very nice, Janie. What is that? That's one of my favorites. I know it's one of yours, too. Now, here's the second city, Rome. Jimmy Fields? What's that, Jim?
Venetian boat song.
Well, that's Venice. I think you'll have to go down on that. Mark Evans, what have you got? Fine, what is that?
Arrivederci Roma.
What is arrivederci? Fine. What does arrivederci mean?
Goodbye in Italian.
And goodbye to you, Mark Evans. And here we go. The next one is London. London. Mark Seaman.
Day in London town.
That's a wonderful one. Now we have Los Angeles. All right, Mark Evans. What was that, Mark?
Smog gets in your eye.
Oh.
As the composer wrote it, smoke gets in your eyes.
That's very good.
Same thing.
I think we did pretty good. Don't you think so, audience? Wonderful. And now while the judges are figuring the scores, here's a very special treat. It's the moment when we ask all of our 5 pedal pushers to join in some tuneful teamwork on one particular song. This week, 10 hands, 40 octaves, and 64 bars of Nola. Jimmy Fields, can you beat it off?
Oh, surely. A 1 and a 2 and
Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have totaled up the scores, and here's Johnny Jacobs with the results. Johnny?
Well, Uncle John, it was a close battle this week. 2 of our viewers managed to stump the Chopstickers and thereby win deluxe sets of Encyclopedia Britannica. Of our keyboard kids, the highest scorer this week turned out to be Mark Seaman. Of course, that means that Mark Seaman will be our featured soloist next week.
Congratulations, Mark Seaman. We'll be looking forward to that solo a week from tonight. And that's this week's session of Chopsticks. Until next week, when we will be back with a new guest star in the person of a famous recording artist, this is John Scott Trotter saying 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And saying good night for Mark Seaman. Good night for Billy Preston. Good night for Mark Evans. Good night for Janie Getz. Good night for Jimmy Beale.
If you'd like to put our panelists through their paces, then send your questions to Chopsticks, Hollywood 28, California. None can be returned. The earliest postmark counts. The opinion of the judges is final, and all questions become our property. This is Johnny Jacobs speaking.